But through the flags come the Bradford Bulls and the league leaders, 100% at the top of Super League. They bring this proud record to Wilderspool with them. And the Bulls come into this match with 9 victories from 9 games. Warrington, in fact, haven't beaten Bradford since October 1994. And what's more, Bradford have a tremendous attack and a wonderful defence. 53 tries have been scored. Their top tackler is their hooker, James Lowes. The man who goes forward for them is Brian McDermott, but McDermott tonight starts on the bench. Now the Warrington Wolves, and Wolfie takes no bull, says the banner. And that's the banner that Paul Hume is about to break and lead the Warrington Wolves onto the pitch for this vital match for both sides. Warrington aiming to kick-start their season here against the team that is leading the way in Super League. Only 4 games won, though, for Warrington, compared to Bradford's 9. They've lost 5. 226 points scored. They finished 5th in 1996, but it's been a poor start. Only 43 tries so far. Their top tackler is their captain, Paul Hume, and Paul Sculthorpe, their young and outstanding loose forward, is the man who goes forward. Robbie Paul misses tonight's match. It's a big blow for the Bulls, injured at Wembley, of course, still a week or 2 away from full fitness. But here's the side that Warrington hope will do the trick. Rudds the fullback, Henari, Wingfield, Vagana and Forster, Shelford and Breers. Stevens, Hoff and Mann the front row, Hume the captain, Tatupu and Sculthorpe. And on the bench, Finau, Knott, Garitas and Thornley. Coach now is Darryl Vandervelde. The league leaders, Spruce, Scales, Callan, Peacock, Ikoku, Bradley the captain and Tomlinson. Forwards Anderson, Lowes, Rihanna, Forshaw, Medley, McNamara. And on the bench, Wittenberg, Graham, McDermott and Laughlin. Coach Matthew Elliott. Match referee is Robert Connolly. He's ready, we're ready, and Warrington get this game underway. Deep kickoff, underneath it is Stuart Spruce. And Spruce tips the ball back inside to Mike Forshaw, who made an immediate impact with his 2 tries against St Helens just last week. It's a marvellous atmosphere inside the Wilderspool Stadium. The Bradford Bulls army has marched across here in numbers and are contributing to what could be a quite magnificent night. Medley with that drive upfield. Look for the penalty from Robert Connolly. None coming. Tomlinson then turns it back on the inside to Bradley. Bradley gets the ball away to Forshaw, who hung on somehow.
He was held back, Forshaw, before he received that football. Shelford was the culprit. You can see there that they went for him before he had possession of the football. Bradley offloads. You can see Shelford pulling number 14, Mike Forshaw, back. Well spotted by the official, Robert Connolly. Well, a bright start is what the Warrington Wolves wanted tonight. Their defence has been a problem in this early part of the Super League.
So the Bulls now in possession. This is Tomlinson. And Tomlinson is grounded. That's Lowes, the dummy half. He gets the ball away to McNamara. Peacock corked it round his neck and kept the legs pumping.
Good job that Paul Hume was there, the skipper. It was a brave tackle.
Now Medley, Bradford keeping the ball alive well. Here now is Lowes, Lowes to Callan, and Callan gets over! What a try from that Callan! What a start for the Bradford Bulls! But he wants to take a look at the screen. He says he was unsighted, Robert Connolly. So...
that doesn't surprise me at all. There was a bevy of players in front of him, but I think there's no problem with this. Callan reaches out, the momentum takes it over, no double movement. You can see the ball-carrying arm did not make contact inside the field of play. It was a neat little pass from the hooker, Lowes, but what a great drive it was from the Bradford Bulls. And there it is, confirmation. Video referee having no problem whatsoever. What a tremendous start, not only for Matt Callan, but for the Bradford Bulls. Beautiful play by Lowes. The second markers were caught napping. Not this guy. Lowes took full advantage. Callan away. Notice how Lowe's has all the time in the world to run the angle. It was a good sprint by Callan. And the problem that has been plaguing Warrington all season has got them in trouble yet again.
So Steve McNamara, 41 goals in Super League this year. Chance to add the extras, but he misses. Could that be a costly miss at the end of the day? But Bradford lead, courtesy of Callan's try.
You'll see that the second markers were non-existent, and Lowe just move it on there. He runs across, and you can see they're held back, and Callan has got all the strength in the world to get over.
Bradford getting across the Warrington line without Warrington touching the ball. So what a start for the league leaders. They know they'll go 5 points clear of St Helens tonight if they win here, the champions, and they will be 4 points clear of Leeds if they win, and they will have a game in hand. It's pretty good as far as Bradford Bulls are concerned thus far, but the game only 4 minutes old, and Warrington looking to respond. That's John Hoff. He gets the ball away, and the kick downfield comes in from young Lee Breers.
What on earth is Okoku doing? He's lost possession there. Well, he's fortunate then. Well, this is really casual from Okoku. I think he lost it and forced the snatches at it. But one-on-one, who's come up with it? Well, Okoku does in the end. But they've deemed that Forster was offside in front of the kicker. But my word, Eddie. The winger, Abi Okoku, Sunday afternoon stroll.
It's Anderson, tackled by Hoff. Lowe's gets the ball away to the free-running Forshaw. Good tackle coming in on Hoff again, trying to resurrect his career here at Warrington. McNamara gets the ball away to Peacock, and he's such a difficult man to put down, but Sculthorpe is in there quickly. So too was the number 26 for Warrington, Paul Wingfield, on his home debut here.
Well, great tactics by Bradford. They're using the two centres, Matt Callan and Danny Peacock, as forwards down the middle. Well, they're lucky to get it out. That'll be a knock-on.
Callan got the ball away, but Ikoku just couldn't wheel it in.
It was on the last anyway. So that'll be the turnover. But it is a fine tactic by the Bradford coach, Matthew Elliott, to use the two block-busting centres, Callan and Peacock, down the middle of the park. And I'm afraid Warrington are finding it very difficult to stop them.
Young Warren Stevens then was tackled. He's only 18. He's played 8 of the last 9 in Super League for Warrington. Doing a great job as an emergency prop forward. They've had so many injuries here at Wilderspool this season. Their first team squad has been decimated. Meanwhile, this is the captain, Paul Hume. Good tackle by Peacock. Last tackle for Warrington. They made 44 metres. Sculthorpe, kicker, but off the outside of the boot. And Paul Sculthorpe, his kick finds touch on the full.
Put under a lot of pressure there by Glenn Tomlinson, the little halfback. There was good work from Tomlinson. That's the reason why the loose forward, Sculthorpe, made a real meal of it. Well, we saw a classic on Friday night, and it looks as though this is going to live up to all the pre-match hype. Warrington said they were going to throw everything at this Bradford Bulls side.
They're certainly playing here in front of their biggest attendance of the season. And Darryl van der Velde, the Warrington coach, who was our guest on Friday, hoping that his patched-up side can do the trick against the league leaders. Beaten 58 points to 20 on the opening night of Super League 2 in March. Warrington's pride was dented that night. But that is the defence dented by Anderson. He gets the ball away to Tomlinson. Tomlinson escapes the clutches of 2. That's going to be 6 to go. Bradford have retained possession courtesy of Lowe's.
Poor defence by the prop forward, Warren Stevens. The big fella Anderson just brushed him aside. Oh, swinging arm there from Hume. Things getting excited.
This is Lowe's, and that's Medley. Good charging run from Medley. He almost gets to the line. Eventually he's hauled down by 3. Warrington being hit by a whirlwind here. Tomlinson to McNamara. That's better tackling. Tatupu in there quickly, and Kelly Shelford. Forshaw's the dummy half. Tahi Rihana gets the pass away. They keep the movement going to Bradford Bulls with McNamara to Forshaw. Forshaw spun in the tackle, looked for Bradley, but eventually had to take the tackle. Lowe's is there. This now is Callan. He lost the ball, did he? The Warrington players appealed that he did, and the referee agrees.
Well, again, we see Callan being used as the battering ram down the middle, trying to get the ball away in an impossible situation. I know they're leading by 4 points to 0, and they are playing with a lot of confidence, but really trying to offload in such heavy traffic is a sin, and that will, I'm surely, be brought up by their coach, Matthew Elliott.
That's the captain, Paul Hume. Matthew Elliott, the Bradford coach, watching on as his league leaders press this Warrington line, leading 4 points to 0. Elliott, of course, yet to lose in Super League. The only defeat he's suffered in his coaching career so far came at Wembley against the Saints. And Elliott hoping to lead the Bradford Bulls to their first championship since 1981.
Well, for them to do that, they must win these types of games. Warrington gone through a lot of turmoil, but great play by Shelford.
The ball is kept alive. Sculthorpe gets the pass out, but it was low down round the ankles of Wingfield.
Bad pass there from a tremendous footballer. The loose forward Sculthorpe is usually a little bit more attentive than this, and he knows it was a bad pass. Nothing you could blame on the young centre Wingfield.
John Scales restored to the side, the big tough winger, and a try against Warrington in March. McNamara brings it Koku back on the inside. Sculthorpe is there to meet him with Warren Stevens. Tomlinson gets the ball away to Stuart Spruce, who has joined into the line, the Bradford fullback. Head-to-head over the years, it's a marvellous record, isn't it, for Bradford against Warrington?
Forward pass.
31 victories to 15.
Anderson overrunning the pass from Lowe's. He just hesitated. You see how he came to the blind side. Little doubt in the mind of the referee, Connolly. Half a metre forward. Well, a few mistakes from the Bradford side, trying to force the pass on the first one. Forward pass on that occasion.
Just going back to handling errors 3-1. Bradford ahead in that department where they wouldn't want to be, but just going back to the head-to-head between these two, Bradford have won the last 5 meetings between the two sides, and you have to go back some way to the last time that Warrington won here against them, October 1994, when a certain Jonathan Davis scored a try, 4 goals and a drop goal. It's been all Bradford recently. That's a good kick though for Nigel Vagana to chase. Vagana chasing the kick from Breers.
Nice kick as well by the youngster, and Vagana, who is in fine form, but a little bit far there.
And Nigel Vagana, the leading try scorer in the Super League, with 12 touchdowns so far. He's had a sensational start, the former junior Kiwi international. Tries in each of his last 7 games. Wonder if he can make it 8 against the Bulls. 11 minutes gone, that's a penalty. Chris Rudd penalised.
Well, it was silly. They released the man. There's no way that a Cuckoo could get up and play this football. They've made it quite clear of all the officials that they're trying to stamp this out. Rudd trying, of course, to just slow the ball down. They know how effective this Bradford Bulls outfit is when they play the ball quickly. And you've got a man of the quality of James Lowe's in the hooking role. He controls things.
Anderson pops the ball back to McNamara. McNamara to Tomlinson. Lovely jinking run from Tomlinson. And Paul Hume came in late. That's got to be a penalty. Hume flopping, and I think there was a little right hook as well in there.
Little doubt, but Hume thought that he was trying to get the pass away. But it was a lovely break by Tomlinson. And you'll see that from here he came in far too late. Spotted by Robert Connolly. And a few words of wisdom being spoken to him now. And also in return, well, can't say that's the right thing from the captain to be mouthing off to the official.
Well, he is the only player who is legally entitled to enter discussions with the referee.
You can request a discussion, not shout at the official.
If I lip read, he did say Bob, so he was trying to attract the referee's attention.
There are manners, even out on the football field.
I wish you might learn a few.
I said out on the football field.
Bradford Bulls supporters are behind the sticks. And they're watching as McNamara misses another. Well, they're so reliable. McNamara has now mixed with his first 2 kicks at goal. Could have doubled the lead.
That could prove costly. Now, it often goes against a side who score very early when they're expected to win, when they're odds on to win, and that's the case today with Bradford. But they can't just walk around as though it's a Sunday afternoon stroll.
Ikoku taking the ball up there. Ikoku playing the ball, and that is John Scales. Now here's Mike Forshaw.
They're running a very tight line with this delayed pass.
4-0 to Bradford on the penalty count. Lowe's gets the ball away, and again it goes to Medley. Popped over the top there to Rihanna. He brings it back amongst all the heavy traffic, but Medley is still there in support. He keeps the movement going to Lowe's, who is just surrounded momentarily and has to take the tackle.
Good scrambling defence though by Warrington. They needed it. But again, we saw there that delayed pass. Look at the offloads. Bradford on 9.
What a run here from Peacock. Off the one knee to Anderson. Referee Robert Connolly took a perler. He takes a check with his touch judges and awards the try. Paul Anderson. He wasn't going to be stopped from that range. It was a beautiful pass off one knee that set him up.
Beautiful play by Peacock. There you see, as soon as he got the football, he came back on the angle. Breers was out on the inside, nothing that Wingfield could do about it, but good support by the big fella Anderson. Nice try. Here's the man on the inside there, and look how he goes right through it. Not the best attempt at tackle, but good thinking. Beautiful pass. Now then, was he pushed the referee? Get out of the way. Robert Connolly couldn't see it. Beautiful play, that. Superb play by the big centre, Peacock. As he took that football, oh, maybe a little bit of a doubt. But there's perhaps a hint that the referee was pushed to the ground rather than tripped. Either way, the try will go to this man.
Paul Anderson with the try, formerly with Halifax, but he began life at Leeds, a former under-21 international. He got 2 tries against Sheffield recently. That was the first time he'd come up with a 2-try effort. So that's his 3rd in Super League. Now then, Steve McNamara. That's an unusual statistic for him, 0 from 2. That's the angle he has for his 3rd attempt at goal. And it's 3rd time lucky for Steve McNamara. They've hit double figures, the league leaders, 10 points to 0.
Breers and Wingfield, you see, are going out to the touchline, but as soon as he gets the football, Peacock cuts back at an acute angle. And the pass here, well, there may be a little bit of a doubt about that. Anderson looked to touch in front, and just to your left out of your screen, the referee, Robert Connolly, went for a tumble, but I think he was helped along the way.
Penalty because the kickoff from McNamara went out on the full. Lee Breers, he judged that to perfection, didn't he? Well, Bradford leading 10-0. They haven't found touch, though, Warrington. What a criminal error. Oh, and that was high from man on the shoulder, and Scales felt that.
It was a fair tackle, though. He really did put the shoulder to work. And as you mentioned, Scales, the winger, got up very groggily indeed.
Bradley, not the best pass, but it came off for Peacock. How on earth did he pick that one up? And look at the run from him. But Mike Forshaw had overrun him, so Warrington have it back. Well, a passage of play there that was scrappy from both sides. Can Warrington turn it to their advantage now?
Well, when you pick up a loose ball like that, why on earth do you want to try to keep the momentum going? Peacock is playing out of his skin at the moment, but forcing the pass at the wrong time.
Henari's gone off and Thornley has come on. Thornley in his 2nd spell here at Warrington. He left for Widnes in July 1994. And his last appearance for Warrington, would you believe, October 1993.
Well, with 17 minutes into the game, it's a real first attack from the Wolves.
Breers, good ball, but well stopped. Tremendous tackle on Kelly Shelford. He was just picked up and dumped to the ground. Through. It's still last tackle. Play on, says the referee. Sculthorpe flicks the ball back out to the back door, and an overhead kick from Tony Thornley, and it bounced straight into the arms of Anderson.
Tried the scissor kick backward there, did Thornley. Didn't make a great contact. But good refereeing by Robert Connolly. He had not shouted held, so that ball was still in play. But what a tackle from Peacock. He's having a tremendous match.
Here's Bradley now. 18 minutes of this match gone. The league leaders ahead by 10 points to 0. Forshaw taking the tackle from Shelford and from Bagana. Lows the dummy half to Tomlinson, to McNamara. Wider still to Medley, and further out wide it goes to Scales. And Scales fancies taking on Breers, but that's a super tackle from young Lee Breers. Offered in the touchline and rolled him over the line.
Beautiful play by the youngster. In the sweeping roll, Scales thought he had the speed. Just got him on the whitewash with the right leg. What a great future in store for this fella.
Only 18, fourth appearance since his move from St Helens. Now, tomorrow morning we have a World of Super League special for you. We have the Tri-Series Grand Final between Queensland and New South Wales from Brisbane, live 10:55 a.m. tomorrow morning. And it's repeated 8:30 tomorrow evening, Sky Sports 3. So repeated Monday evening, Sky Sports 3, 8:30. Watch it live with us, though, 5 minutes to 11.
What a bad mistake by the full-back, Chris Rudd. They've just won the scrum on the first tackle count. Who would be a coach? Poor Daryl van der Velde will not be pleased with that. And rightly so. It was a good pass. He should have taken it.
By the way, that Queensland-New South Wales game, it kicks off at 11 a.m. Monday morning. Join us Sky Sports 1 for the game live, Sky Sports 3 at 8:30 for the highlights. Abi Ikoku, Bradford hunting more tries. Rihanna with a strong run. Solid defence this time from Warrington, but it took 4 to halt him and bring him down. Lowe's is the dummy half, and he gives it to Medley, who went without it.
Well,
and they'll pick him up for the knock-on.
It was a move that came successful last week. Lowe's goes out, and you can see he pops the ball up. Medley went without it. See how Lowe's, the hooker, moves away, and Medley has to come into the position that the hooker would have been. But he took his eyes off the football. Did the man that they call super sub at the Bull camp, Paul Medley.
Matthew Elliott is the Bradford Bulls coach. No doubt enjoying this great start to the season that his side have made.
Biggest problem for Warrington at this point in time is that the Bradford defence are moving up as one line, so they're forcing Warrington to a one-out football, and they've got to try something different. Breers has to inject himself, maybe a kick over the top.
Warrington in possession. Breers kicks deep for the corner. Scales has to retreat and collect it. Good chase from Warrington on that occasion.
Well, that surprises me, because Scales, as we've seen in the opening 20 minutes, is in fine form. And it's surprising me that they're not kicking to the other winger, Abi Ikoku, who, to be fair, is wonderful going forward, but does have a tendency to make a meal of it. But he's making a great break.
Yes, that is Abi Ikoku, the man, I suppose, in many ways, filling the void left by Joe Tamani, who's now plying his trade with the Adelaide Rams in Australia. But Ikoku is the man who Matthew Elliott has decided will fill in for him. Meanwhile, this is great stuff from the Bulls. Peacock just halted by Tony Thornley. Tomlinson scampers away from dummy half, then gives the ball out wide to Matt Calland.
Good tackle by Wingfield. He went with him all the way. Was not going to take the dummy.
McNamara to Anderson. 22 minutes of the match gone. Bradford, league leaders ahead, 10 points to 0. Tomlinson dabs the ball through. Forster is there, and he gets away from Ikoku. Good run from Forster. Great tackle back, though, by Mike Forshaw.
Good work by both sides there. It was a neat kick through, but Forster to position himself well. Beat Koku all up.
This is Paul Hume again. He takes the tackle, and Mark Forster, the Warrington winger, he made his Irish debut in midweek against the French, and Forster scored a try.
That's better from Warrington. They're using the dummy runners for the first time.
Shelford, little chip over the top. Breers is after it, but Spruce just watches it as it runs dead.
Good option as well there by the New Zealander. Shelford realised that the fullback Stuart Spruce was not way back. He was acting as the sweeper.
Second Warrington change. Salisi Finau comes on for Warren Stevens. Finau sub in 3 of the last 4. And he made his debut on the wing against the Bulls in December '95, but now, these days, Finau is operating as a forward. McDermott has come on for Bradford Bulls, the Great Britain international. And Graham is on as well. That's Nathan Graham. So a double substitution by Matthew Elliott and the Bulls as well. Just confirming who has been withdrawn for those two. This is Scales. Here are the details. Anderson and Medley off, and Graham and McDermott on.
Again, we see good defence from Tony Thornley, who's run himself into the ground since he came onto the paddock.
Tomlinson, ball out wide to Calland, and Calland dabs it through. It was easily watched that by Chris Rudd.
Positioned himself well, did Rudd, the full back. But the kick and chase, as always, as we've seen this season from the Bulls, was excellent. Well, again, we see they're playing one-out football.
That's a much better run, though, from Salisi Finau.
We haven't seen the link yet from Breers and Shelford, and that's what we need. That's better, but you can see that defence is coming up so quickly.
They're super fit, the Bradford Bulls. There's Breers. This is Sculthorpe. A little chip over the top. Thornley hacks it, and it's a race now between Thornley and Spruce wins it easily. But it was a little bit of magic from Sculthorpe there.
Sculthorpe over the top, but I'm not so sure that Thornley should have gone for this. Instead, he kicked. He would have been better served, perhaps, but in the end, they will still get possession. Good race back by the fullback, Stuart Spruce.
Well, Paul Sculthorpe is so important to this Warrington side. He is a bright young star, only 19 already. He is a Great Britain international, but he has been reported to be a little disillusioned at Wilderspool recently, questioning apparently their lack of ambition. But there's no lack of ambition out there this evening. They'd love to topple the league leaders, and here's Finau.
Well, at least it was Sculthorpe that was thinking, using the brains. Oh, a bad mistake again.
Shelford lost it, went without the ball. Graham picks up the loose ball.
Just when it looked as though they were trying to build themselves into a position where they could launch an attack into the Bradford quarter, they come up with the error. It's been a nightmare for them so far. You can see Bradford had most of the play.
Tackle on McNamara by Sculthorpe. Tomlinson to Graham Bradley. Oh, he steps inside Shelford beautifully, and there's a ton of support, and it's a cakewalk for Forshaw. Mike Forshaw's third try of Super League 97 for the Bulls, and he only arrived last week. Mike Forshaw with the try. Bradford stretch their lead.
The difference between the two sides, Bradford having all the time in the world to string together the passes. But look at that step inside. Shelford, he's got great balance for such a big man. And Forshaw, who is making a big name for himself since he signed for the Bulls, gets another try. 2 long passes out wide. This is something that I'm afraid that Warrington have failed to do on the inside. Beautiful support play. Forshaw, as Eddie mentioned, they were queuing up to grab the 4-pointer. See how the sliding defence hangs back. Bang. You could see that Shelford had gone far too wide. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. Any one of these could have scored. Wonderful play.
Forshaw scored it, and McNamara improves it to 6. Well, Bradford 16, Warrington 0, and for all their effort and endeavour and spirit, it's men against boys at the moment.
There you see, 2 so tight, leaves a big gap on the inside, soon as he steps. Beautiful swerve of the body by Bradley. The big Australian sends this man away. Forshaw, he enjoys doing that, and so did the crowd.
Well, that's his rugby league background, Wigan, Wakefield and Leeds, but he came back to Super League from Saracens, and as he arrived, he professed his greater love of the game of rugby league. And Steve-O, with 3 tries in a game and a half for the Bradford Bulls, I wonder if he got quite so many running chances in the other code.
Well, we've seen a few hens scratching around somewhere around the ridge. He wants to play open football, and in this Bradford Bulls side, he's going to get plenty of opportunities.
Was that a little knock on?
Went backwards, surely. Well, here's the official, Robert Connolly. He looked towards the touch judge for confirmation.
He did.
He left it, but was it going backwards? Still rolling backwards for mine. Okay.
Warrington will take anything, and they've got this scrum feed, and they've got the ball with Breers. Breers just ankle tapped. What a great little ankle tap that was from the Australian Glenn Tomlinson. Now Wingfield.
Well, that was try time. Breers was going to suck the defence in to send the winger over. Tomlinson, great ankle tap.
Here's Breers now. He spreads it wide to Shelford. Shelford has got Thornley, and Thornley to Vagana. Vagana spins away. He's found a bit of space. It's soon closed down by Spruce. Rudd has chimed in. Shelford. Shelford to the big fellow, the second rower, Tony Tatupu. Keep the ball alive. Hoff. It's now with Breers. Back to Paul Hume, the captain, from a standing start, and Forshaw gets the tackle in.
He didn't expect that, the second rower, Hume.
Hoff trapped. Great tackle by Bradley.
On the last as well, the big Australian just wrapped the hooker up there. No way he could offload. Come here, down onto the ground. Well, that's the best passage of play we've seen from Warrington, but what a great tackle by the big Australian centre.
Koku just lost his footing, and the referee has got Tatupu for the flop. Well, Vagana made the tackle, and then there he comes, Tatupu over the top, and Ikoku looks at the referee and asks for the penalty and gets it.
Well, to be fair to the officials, they are really stamping out the offence, which is somewhat irritating, not only for the players but also for the fans.
Referee wants the spare ball removed from the field before allowing McDermott to go off on the run. It's a transitional stage, I think, for Warrington already this season. They finished 5th in '96, but after a poor start, that now looks like even that place is beyond them. They're currently 8th in the table, and at the moment on the wrong end of a 16-0 scoreline with 9 minutes to half-time. And Bradford keeping this ball alive so well. So many candidates to pick up the pieces.
They've been allowed to turn in the tackle, and I'm afraid the Warrington defence is hanging back yet again. It only spells trouble. The Bulls are rampaging at the moment.
McNamara, lovely kick. It's gone in behind Wingfield, and he does well to just hack the ball dead because there were 3 around him. Young Paul Wingfield
did very well indeed. The young centre realising that there was no one else out there to help him.
Well, he's only 18. 2 tries in his debut against Halifax last Sunday off the bench to score either side of half-time. Full debut today. So Bradford with head and feed, and Bradley is waltzing his way almost to the line. He was just half a metre short. Tomlinson. The ball went backwards. Play on. McDermott. Oh, he did brilliantly getting the ball away to Forshaw. Peacock somehow held on to it.
Will we see a drive to the sticks and Lowe's do his speciality? No, they've come out wide. Oh,
knock off.
Made a meal of it. Well, Forster gave him a little one, a little bit of a grin. A Koku pats him on the cheek. It's all right for those two to have a bit of a giggle. It was Callan that caught it fair and square in the back. There's no smiles from Callan, I can tell you.
Two errors more than normal for Matt Callan. Good strong run from Bagana.
Warrington are desperate to get a try on the board to lift their spirits. They're finding it also difficult to get through the strong defence. They've only tried the chip over the top once, and it really worked for them. Sculthorpe was the man. Can he do it again? Bradford have not got a sweeper as yet. They're dropping one back now.
Well, Bradford are getting, what is that, 8 metres more than Warrington every time they have the football. A little chip through again by Sculthorpe, but just too deep.
Came on to play the ball a little bit too late there, because the sweeper and the fullback Spruce and the winger Abi Koku had all the time in the world to let that go dead in goal. Well, a few touches of skills from Warrington, but I'm afraid it's all Bradford at the moment. They really have got a big three-quarter line. It's like playing against a full team of forwards, isn't it?
Yes, they're a big side, there's no doubt about it. And there's not much bigger than John Scales. He plays the ball to Lowe's. Here's McDermott, and he just lifted the ball up over the head of the tackle. The man coming in to tackle him looked for support, but then took the tackle. McNamara was thinking about getting it round the corner to Bradley.
But you could see the ease that they're breaking through the first up tackle, being able to twist in and get the ball away. Well, you see even the full-back Spruce.
Tomlinson now. He hoists the midfield bomb. They've come in to try and protect Chris Rudd, who's gone without it. That's going to be a knock-on, and it's play on. Bradley has picked up the loose ball, and Bradley just got an ankle tap from Breers. That saved another 4 points for Warrington.
He's twisted his ankle, I think, as well as a big Australian Graham Bradley. Breers just clipped him, and that can be quite dangerous, especially when you're going full pelt. Bradley rightly staying on his bottom and making sure that he doesn't make matters worse by trying to put weight on that ankle that I think is twisted.
Jeff Wittenberg is on. He's just come on for Tahi Rihana, and he's the man who's going to play this ball. Bradley receiving treatment. So we play on with Tomlinson and McNamara. He's limping back into the line. Bradley seems to be okay, but here's big Jeff Wittenberg. 3 metres short of that Warrington line. Sculthorpe all over the place, and I think Lowe's has pinched one. I think Lowe's has pinched a try. He has. Well, Paul Sculthorpe was going piggyback rides over the grounded player, and Lowe's just picked the ball up from the dummy half and dived over the line. Easy.
Well, it all came from the fullback's mistake. Chris Rudd failed to take the high kick. Bradley went through. Warrington just stood back and held off him. Breers just tapped him there. That gave him the injury. Bradley were quite happy to slow things down. They went out wide, and from this you can see the second marker, well, they're non-existent at the moment. Sculthorpe, no good looking at the referee, used a dummy runner, and a man who was in fine form, but you have to point the finger at poor defence yet again from the Warrington Wolves.
McNamara with his 5th attempt. That's 3 from 5 now for McNamara, and Bradford racing away with this at 22 points to 0, and problems for Darryl van der Velde. He knew it was a big job, Steve-o, when he arrived at Warrington, but I didn't think he realised the enormity of it. It is.
Well, they probably told him that there's not many mountains here and around Warrington, but I think there's a few building on the shoulders. He looks a worried man. and rightly so, because they are just not getting their defence smooth. All the latitude, you've got to move it forward. And see, they're hanging back. They're not moving forward with conviction.
And didn't they do well, Bradford, to get the ball back from the kickoff? Lowe's just manages to hang on. That was Nathan Graham. This is McNamara. Now it's Bradley. Looks like he's fully recovered, Graham Bradley. Such a key member of this Bradford Bulls side, and a new one-year extension to his contract just signed as well, Graham Bradley. Here's another key member. Lowe's to Tomlinson. Here they come again. They're queuing up. Callan pops the ball back to McNamara. Lovely ball from McNamara to Peacock. 2 minutes to go to half-time. Bradford looking to really rub salt into Warrington here. But Breers reacting well.
Lowe's trying to get the kick in, but Breers was equal to that task. Not standing square at the play of the ball. Lowe's had a wry smile to Robert Connolly, the official.
Penalty to Warrington.
Well, the relief that they needed. You see them moved off the mark, both Tomlinson and the hooker. Well, words of wisdom will definitely be needed by Daryl van der Velde to lift his charges. Only on a couple of occasions have they really applied any pressure to this Bradford defence. They've contained the Wolves quite easy.
Breers, that's a lovely little kick, one for Vagana to chase. Ikoku is there, he's made a right mess of it. And Vagana gets the pass inside. Oh, Foster, well, he tried to touch that down between his legs.
He did.
Has he managed it? The referee's unconvinced. He's going to give it to the video ref to decide. Now then, I'm not so sure that the man who was tackled, i.e. Vagana, wasn't over the line. Forster is convinced that he scored the try.
So am I.
Did he manage to get it down through his legs? He was facing the other way. Unbelievable if he has.
Vagana did well, and you can see that the ball just goes backwards. Ikoku tries to make up. Did he let go of that? It's a try. But did he knock on slightly?
Oh, that's unbelievable.
No doubt about him placing it down. But what a meal that Ikoku did. I mentioned earlier. Now, is that a knock on? Ooh, that is tight. Maybe he just had fingertip control. It didn't leave it. The slow motion replay will help the video referee no end. No qualms about him getting the downward pressure for the try, but did he knock on?
Well, that's the decision for the video ref, and here it comes. The decision, I think, has been made. Everyone looking anxiously. Warrington preparing to take the conversion. They believe they've got a try. Only the video ref can give the green light. And here comes the decision now. No try. He did knock on. Just lost control at the crucial moment. There.
No doubt about that. Doesn't matter whether you stood on your head. As long as you get downward pressure, give the try. But, well, nothing going right for the Warrington side. But at least they are kicking to the other wing. We mentioned it early in this game that Abi Ikoku is a little bit dodgy when it comes to the kicks. And it wouldn't surprise me, Eddie, if Abi Ikoku does not come out for the second half. That will not have pleased his coach one little bit.
The little problem for the referee was that Warrington were claiming they should have had head and feed, but the offence was knock on, so it's head and feed to the defending side.
That's right. You are getting really good with these rules, Eddie.
Oh, steady on. I know that that's the half-time siren, and I know the Bradford Bulls have got this match firmly in their pocket. They lead here by 22 points to 0. They've run in 4 tries. Abi Ikoku a little bit dodgy in defence maybe, but wow, is he exciting going forward. Graham Bradley not limping as he goes to the dressing room, so it looks like the ankle is all right. But Callan, Anderson, Forshaw and Lowe's with the tries. And this is the try from Mike Forshaw that really was an absolute cakewalk. And Bradford leading here at half-time by 22 points to 0. And Bradford Bulls, the unbeaten league leaders, are on the way to maintaining their 100% start to the season. 4 tries, Calland, Anderson, Forshaw and Lowe's, and McNamara's kicked 3 goals. Here are some statistics for Steve-O to browse through.
Well, the possession sells it all, doesn't it? 62% there. Attacking kicks 4. They really are on top. Wonderful stuff. Penalties going against Warrington as well. It's not an easy second half for them. Look at the tackle count. Bradford only having to make 88, but the missed tackles 11. Look at those clean breaks. 14 shows you the problem that Warrington are having in defence, and handling that as well. Bradford forcing the ball. It did not surprise me. Sets completed, surprisingly 9 from Warrington, but mainly due to the fact that they have been playing one-out football for most of that first half.
So it's the Bradford Bulls in the shape of Steve McNamara who get us underway for the second half, ahead by 22 points to 0. And Warrington, I suppose now, Steve-O, they are playing for, as much as anything else, their pride, and to try and catch the eye of their new coach, Darryl van der Velde.
Well, he knows it's a rebuilding process here at Warrington, and there's no better time than to start now. Okay, they may think that the game's over, but if they can get off to a flying start, get a try, who knows? Bradford may just put on the brakes. They may step off the gas.
That's better from Tatupu. He got the pass away to Paul Hume.
I'm just saying, Eddie, it has been done before.
Shelford with the diagonal kick. And that ball, did it come off Wingfield or did it come off the Bradford player? Came off the Bradford man, off his chest.
Well, it was a nice kick, wasn't it?
John Scales.
Scales, he put under a lot of pressure by the youngster there. Good play there by Paul Wingfield, putting the pressure. A positive start to this second half. It was a good kick. They were devoid of ideas in the first half.
And the sun now streaming down, and Warrington playing with the sun at their back. I wonder whether they will hoist the high kick or two to test Stuart Spruce in this glaring sunlight as evening comes to Warrington. They mightn't have to. That's Salesi Finau.
Well,
good run.
I'll be surprised if they test Spruce. I think they'll test Abi Ikoku.
Sculthorpe. Offside against Bradford.
Good play
Penalty
by
Warrington.
Good play by Robert Connolly. Allowed the advantage, none forthcoming.
John Hoff will restart from that penalty. This is George Mann. George Mann so close. Well, Warrington starting the second half in very positive mood. Breers, that's not the best ball though from Shelford.
Well,
unfortunately, Vagana retained possession. Here's Sculthorpe now.
Breers was wanting a little short pass, but I'm afraid the Tutupu went out wide.
Warrington have made a new signing. This is Wingfield. What? Tutupu, who's he?
He has a middle name. Well, again, a mistake here when they really didn't want it, but good defence there. Scales and Peacock, they really are working hard in the defensive department. Okay, the guy's got a middle name.
Tony Tutupu, now you know. Right. And there he is, Tony Tatupu in the tackle. There he is. Number 12 is his middle name. This now is McDermott. Midway inside the Bradford half of the field.
I really will have to get them fixed.
What, the teeth?
Yes.
And Steve-O, the World Club Championship is coming up here on the 6th of June on Sky Sports. St Helens against Auckland.
That was a big hit there, though, Eddie. Big collision. One of the Warrington players is down.
It's Paul Hume, the captain.
Yeah, tremendous competition coming up very shortly on Sky Sports. The best in the world, the World Club Championship. Can't wait.
And Bradford are going to be a real threat to that World Club crown, I fancy, along with St Helens, and don't write Wigan off yet. And Leeds could be a force.
Well, this is the impact, and I can assure you they both felt that. Oh,
That's George Mann. 20 metres from the Bradford sticks. Hoff into the arms of Tatupu. He makes 10 metres ground. Hoff again. Lee Breers. Breers to Shelford. Back to Breers. Breers then to Sculthorpe, who did really well. That pass was round his knees. Breers at dummy half again. Hume going for the line, the captain.
Well, at least Warrington are now starting to use the dummy runners.
Wingfield, no way through for him. Strong defence again from Bradford. Nice change of direction from Breers, but he lost it. Was on the last tackle anyway, so that's the turnover.
Solid defence though by Bradford. But probably the best effort that we've seen from Warrington. The build-up was very good. At least they're getting the link. They're sorting it out. The combination of Lee Breers and Kelly Shelford. It wasn't on show in the first half. But at least they're getting it right now.
I think you made a very good point in the first half, Steve, about the size of this Bradford Bulls outfit. There's only Glenn Tomlinson, really, who is small. But look at that from McDermott. He goes through like a human battering ram, and the little man, Tomlinson, is on his inside to pick up the pieces.
Excellent
more,
run.
It's now back to 0 in the tackle counter. Warrington hand must have got on it. So this is a Koku.
He tried to reef the ball away. That's the reason why Robert Connolly has allowed it to carry on. Back to 6.
It's with Tomlinson again. And McNamara. McNamara all wrapped up by Paul Hume and Lee Breers. Lowe's stands easily, gets the ball away to Graham, and Graham then gives it to Peacock. Sculthorpe there. Tony Thornley there as well. Here now, Callan charging down through the middle.
Did you see the ease, though, that Lowe's went from dummy half on the blind side? Again, they're not working those second markers, Warrington.
Bradley. This is the last tackle now, according to referee Robert Connolly. McDermott into the arms of McNamara, who slides the kick through. Well watched, though, by Mark Forster. But a good tackle on him.
Tremendous positioning there by the winger, anticipating that the kick was going to be forthcoming. Offside. Plenty to choose from as well. Stuart Spruce was up quickly, so was the loose forward Steve McNamara. There's at least 3 Bradford players who made no attempt to come back to 10. The crowd quite happy to remind the merry whistleblower, Mr. Connolly, that there were 3 Bradford players offside. He needn't have to, because he'd seen it quite clearly.
Well, George Mann, prop forward. Warren Stevens began the match as prop forward. Warrington have had real problems in the front row, and more now. Hoff goes off to be replaced by Ian Knott, 1996 Academy tourist. But it is worth pointing out that they have got so many first-choice prop forwards who are out of the side at the moment. Warrington. That's where the engine room of any side is, in the front row. Dallas Mead, for instance, Hilton, Chambers, all missing.
But you can see that Shelford trying to offload in heavy traffic. It's just not going their way, Warrington. At least they're trying things anew. As we mentioned before, they were devoid of any idea in the first half, apart from the little chip over the top. Shelford trying his hardest. He's an experienced campaigner.
It's also worth reminding you that Bradford, despite the fact that they're winning 22 points to 0 and easily so far, they too are without some first-choice forwards. In fact, some first-choice players in every department. Robbie Paul, of course, springs immediately to mind. So does Jeremy Doniger, who's been out for much of the season. Big, giant Australian. But they have such a great squad at Bradford that they can paper over the cracks. But that was a forward pass from Forshaw.
Not even the referee could miss this one, surely, and he didn't. Well, keeping the ball alive at all costs, and you can afford to do that when you're leading 22 points to 0. Been a live flyer, though, hasn't he? Forshaw.
Skillful. That's a good ball to Forster, and Forster's got some space to exploit, but Callan struck back and got him.
Nice work on the blind side by Warrington. They used the dummy runner very well.
Shelford out wide, it goes to Rudd. Further out wide, it goes to Wingfield, and is the youngster in? Great cries of forward pass from the Bradford fans, but Wingfield celebrates. And the referee, Robert Connolly, has given the try. So Paul Wingfield, on his full debut, gets his third try in Super League after coming on as a sub and getting 2 against Halifax.
It all came about by that lovely break on the blind side from the scrum wing. They got the link working there. You could see how Vagana, the centre, was used as a dummy runner. He went low, did the youngster. Make sure that any impact with the tackle, it would still get over the whitewash. Humour-wise, see Vagana come through. Dummy, well scored. Nothing that Scales could do about that. Warrington will be pleased with that. But as I mentioned, it came from a beautiful break on the scrum win.
18 years old Paul Wingfield played in the reserve grade final against Wigan, trying 2 goals in that in April, and he has earned his chance in the Super League. Now Lee Briers, 20 goals in Super League, but if memory serves, it's 11 for St Helens. Didn't he take over from Bobby Goulding well earlier in the season? He kicks a mean ball, but just floating it the wrong side of the posts. Warrington 4, Bradford 22.
Takes the scrum half towards the touchline. Forsey will come through. Beautiful dummy movement. They both went for 2 men. Forster went through. Full credit to Scales for getting back, but from this position, they got the link working superbly and scored their first try. Well worked. The talk by the coach, Daryl van der Veld, definitely working there.
Yes, it's been a spirited response so far from Warrington. I rather fancy their coach gave them the rounds of the kitchen. Looking here before we started to kick-start the season. They're looking to beat the Bulls by anyone for the first time this year in Super League. But as they were exposed in the first half for 22 points, it goes without saying that Warrington do have the worst defence in Super League at the moment. And that's an area that Daryl van der Veld will want to tighten up. This is James Lowe's. Eventually they haul him to the ground.
Well, it's the start that they needed. We mentioned that they've got to start rebuilding, and there's no time like the present.
Scales. Good strong run from Scales. Peacock. Oh, Bradford's response is immediate. Scales with a driving run down the wing, and he looked inside for support, and Peacock was there providing it. And Warrington couldn't get to Peacock. And this wonderful Queensland centre gets over for another try.
Well, there's no good basking in the glory of scoring their first try when the defence is caught out so easily like there. You can see the inexperience of Wingfield. Was left cold out on the wing. He came in from the touchline. Scales made the easy break, and Peacock finishes off on the inside. Watch how they get sucked in. McNamara first. Look at the overlap they've left for Scales. 3 men on 1. It was an open run from Peacock, who had a fine first 40 minutes. He's adding to it. And Scales, who's having a big game. It's a good break. Created by McNamara. He sucked the 3 players in. Fine reply.
3 tries in 4 games for Danny Peacock, including 1 at Wembley. Now Steve McNamara, not kicking to his usual immaculate self, but Bradford 26, Warrington 4. I suppose who needs a kicker?
McNamara will suck 3 players, and you'll see Wingfields come right off the touchline. Scales is an easy run. Peacock goes back on the inside. Bang. Nice step from Scales. Good support play. Fine try, but you point the finger at the Warrington defence yet again.
Lee Briers was underneath the kickoff. So Lacey Finau taking in the first drive. Try scorer Paul Wingfield was next. Now George Mann. Simon Knox. Paul Hume, dummy half. Briers again. Kick straight down the middle off the outside of the boot. Spruce picks up. Briers is after him. And Spruce with all the strength to evade him and then evade the second. Can't get away from the third man in.
Well, it was pretty late there, but it's been allowed by Robert Connolly. Spruce felt the impact.
Yes, he was on the deck when Knox came in over the top.
I thought the tackle had been completed. Maybe the referee Connolly thought that Knox was... Well, that seems like a flop for mine. A painful one by the looks of things.
Penalty to Bradford. George Mann had a hand in on the football as the play the ball was about to happen.
Desperation situation there when you try to kid the referee. He's having none of that. Well spotted by Connolly. He's had a fine game. He's kept control. He was quite lively, especially at periods in that first half.
George Mann, the man penalised. And Bradford have made a change. I noticed Paul Loughlin's trotting on, and Tony Thornley, by the looks of things, is in the wars. So both coaches making changes. Meanwhile, Tomlinson gets the try. At last, Glenn Tomlinson scores in Super League. He got his 100th career try at Wembley a few weeks ago, but now gets his first in Super League 97, and Glenn Tomlinson gleefully over under the sticks.
Good work by the two substitutes. First McDermott, far too strong, twisted in the tackle. Then you'll see Nathan Graham. Nice step, nice handoff, nice pass. Tomlinson, no one within cooey of him. Easy try, it may look, but it was hard work from these two subs. Kept it alive. Nathan, beautiful step, nice handoff. Good play. They're running hot. Good work. Strong play by Graham. See how he used the hand to fend off the would-be tackler. Offloaded the football superbly. And the man who loves nothing better than to support on the inside. The Aussie will enjoy that.
Tomlinson's try, and Steve McNamara, a 50% success rate prior to this kick. Gets now 4 from 7. Matthew Elliott knows his men are on their way to their 11th straight win, if you go back to last year. Their 11th consecutive win, stretching back to last season, and they're also closing in now on St Helens Super League record, 12-match winning start that they achieved last year. And in this mood, it's difficult to see beyond the Bulls for the title.
Tomlinson not allowing the man to play the football. At 32-4, I suppose he can take that risk now. But it's certainly not pretty to watch.
Sean Garaitis comes on for Warrington, for Tony Thornley, who's taking a spell in the blood bin. And Stuart Spruce has gone off. He was obviously hurt in that tackle. Paul Loughlin comes on, as I said, just before Bradford got over for that latest try.
Well, the coach, Daryl Vandervelde, left with no option really to see how this youngster can handle it. Big pressure. Sean Garaitis may as well see what he's got in the squad under pressure.
It's a good tackle from McDermott. Shelford to Breers. Nice little chip. Invention from Lee Breers. It comes back, but it comes back to James Lowes, and it came off a Warrington arm, so he was not offside, Lowes.
Good play on decision by Robert Connolly.
Ikoku. Oh dear, he knows he's made a right hash of that. No hiding place in Super League. Up.
Did it go backwards though? Well, a real mess here.
Sometimes you can be very charitable, can't you? Sometimes.
I thought it went backwards, okay?
So it's a democracy then, you're telling me? You're entitled to an opinion.
Injury to Peacock. And I think at 32-4, there's no point in taking any chances. They feel confident that they've got this game won. Those valuable 2 Super League points in the bag. And that is probably the best decision when you... No point in taking the risk. Is that a fine game, though?
He has. Danny Peacock helped off the field. Stuart Spruce then returns. It was a very quick Reese. Has Breers got over? He has. Lee Breers has got over for the try. Well, that caught Bradford cold, and it really caught Stuart Spruce cold as well, because he can't believe it. He's just come on the field, but Breers has scooted away and has got in for the try in the corner. Well done, the young man. Good work again from the scrum win. We saw from the restart, barely seconds into the second half, Warrington worked the move on the blind side. You could see that they peeled away to the little halfback, and even though he was ankle tapped, he still had enough momentum to take him over. That is a fine try. They worked it well, just clipped into Tomlinson, but not enough to stop the momentum. That's a fine try, no problem about getting the ball down. Bang into the corner. Well worked. There you see, they peeled away. Bang, no worries about it. Good decision by all accounts, but Bradford were caught cold. It's the second occasion they've been caught on that blind side from a scrum win. Lee Breers then with this chance to add the extras. Floats the ball towards the post, but not close enough. And I think the debate from Stuart Spruce's point of view, despite the fact that Warrington have the 8 points, was that he got a hand underneath the ball as it was touched down. That's what he claims. Must have a big hand. You can see how the little halfback has peeled away, sucked it through. This is a fine try. As I mentioned, he must have a big hand. It is a very large ball. So, Warrington 8 points, Bradford 32, and just less than 20 minutes of this match to go. It's been a much better display from Warrington in the second half, and I wonder if anyone on the Warrington side has caught your eye as a possible man of the match. 0891 66 55 25. You can cast your votes now. Here's Spruce again. Well, there's been much more idea to the Warrington play, even though you look at the scoreline, 32-8. It's not good reading as far as they're concerned, but there'll be a few little things that will have pleased Daryl van der Velde. The 2 breaks on the blind side from the scrum win, for sure. Paul Wingfield is hurt. He was hit with a double tackle. Scales and Lachlan goes back for it, didn't take it cleanly the first time, and then the waiting party. And I think you might find that Lachlan, the substitute, went pretty high. He did. Well, it wasn't seen by the officials. Little doubt that Lachlan made contact. Can do without that, thank you very much indeed. You look down the list here at Warrington, Steve-O, and Daryl van der Velde has got men like Wingfield at 18, Breers at 18, Stevens at 18, Sculthorpe at 19, Garaitis at 19, a couple of 20-year-olds out there as well. You know, it's a very tough baptism for those players and for the Warrington coach. Sure is, but you've got to look at the other end of the scale as well. There's quite a few players out there that have got a few years under their belt. There's one of them. Knott gets the ball out wide. Good defence again. And that was trapped on the last tackle, so it's the turnover. Brian McDermott played the ball quickly. Spruce. It's another advantage that you see from this Bradford side, is that the way that they share their work, the 3 quarters quite happy to do a ton of work, take the pressure off the forwards. It's when it gets late in the game, when you're perhaps running near empty, when you've all shared the work, it really does help. Well, Super League action here. Don't forget, Monday morning at 10:55 a.m. Join us for the final of the Tri-Series, Queensland against New South Wales. 10:55 a.m. Sky Sports 1, kick-off 11. Don't be late. And you can also see it, in case you're out at work in the morning, repeated Sky Sports 3, 8:30 Monday evening. Good tackle by Spruce, but a good break there by Kelly Shelford.
There have been times where Shelford's still shown a little bit of the skill that made him famous a few years back.
Here now is Finau. Sculthorpe waits and receives. Goes behind Shelford and finds Rudd. Rudd tried to drill it through the player. Knott's got it back, but only just. And the referee wipes the tackle count clean. So Warrington have 6 more tackles here.
Well, it's deemed that the Bradford player went for that with a foot. That's why it's back to 6.
Knott, rather.
Well, this is where the determination has to show on Bradford. They've got to show that they can still have a good line of defence, even when they know that the game is won.
Paul Hume will never give it up, the Warrington skipper. Shelford to Sculthorpe. Sculthorpe short ball to Vagana. Remember, he's got a proud record to maintain. He's scored a try in each of his last 7 in Super League. Sculthorpe to Mann. Mann looked round the corner to offload. No one was there. The bang in front of the sticks. They come wide now. That's a good ball. And Knott has scored. Ian Knott, the 1996 Academy tourist, gets the 3rd Warrington try. His first in Super League, 1997.
Matthew Elliott, the coach of Bradford, will not like this. Beautiful pass from Shelford out wide. Misses out 3 players. And Ian Knott, who really has got a great future ahead of him, takes it. That is a well-worked try. They worked hard, the build-up to it. Hume out wide. Shelford misses the 3. Knott says it's mine. But you can see this Bradford defence. They held back on this occasion there. Sliding defence was caught very tight indeed. And I think a few words, and it may not be just wisdom, from the Bulls coach Matthew Elliott will be getting across into the brain box of this Bradford Bulls outfit. Good try by the youngster, though.
It was, and he is back in favour under Darrell van der Velde. He looks set to leave not so long ago. Breers. Neat kicking style from young Lee Breers. Great future in the game. Warrington 14, Bradford 32. Something for Warrington supporters to shout about at last.
Tight defence, caught short there. Long ball out wide. Good link, good take. They were queuing up. Knott said it's mine.
So just under a quarter of an hour to go. And Warrington, well, we said that they would be playing for respectability second half. We must give them credit for that. They have shown a lot more determination.
Certainly a lot more idea and a lot more enthusiasm.
And they've had much more of the possession second half, 55 to 45%.
Well, we saw the stat just after the restart in regards to Bradford were only made to have 88 tackles in that first half. The different story this half.
Well, Bradford as league leaders came out second half with a big lead, 22-0. And it would be nice now to see them play like champions. They've put Rudd under all sorts of pressure. But Warrington have the ball back.
Well, did Spruce get a fingertip to that? Either way, Warrington come up with the football. Well, a quick try here.
Yes.
There's plenty of time. Well, we thought it was mission impossible, but is it?
You would have to say that time is running out, but as you say, if they do get up and across the line for another try, well, they're then only 2 converted tries away. But it's all a game of ifs and buts.
It's a big ask, as you say, but
Shelford, well played by Ikoku.
Did well
brave
there.
then.
He read it well. Drop back early, not too deep. Anticipated that kick over the top. Well spotted.
Jeff Wittenberg unloads the pass to James Lowes. That's well done by Breers. Steve-O, there are some good judges in this game say that this is perhaps, and that's got to be a penalty against Lowes.
Well, he's lucky that he's not been sent to the sin bin. Professional foul. He's certainly going to have a few words said to him by the official, Robert Connolly.
Let's just make the point about Breers, though, Steve-O. Some very good judges of this game, and they say this is an outstanding young talent. And the name Peter Sterling also comes into the equation when they look at him.
There's a long way to go before he gets anywhere near Peter Sterling, but I have to agree, he's got a good future if he can keep a level head. It's been a good battle between himself and the Australian Glenn Tomlinson. And he showed whilst he was in the St. Helens Cup run that he can handle the pressure.
I was a bit surprised, actually, that Saints let him go, but I suppose when you've given young kids a chance and they've tasted the glory, it's very difficult then to drop them back into the reserves.
Sack of money makes a lot of things happen. Money talks all languages, Eddie, you know that.
Man. Wrapped up by Bradley. Forshaw downstairs.
Plus the fact, of course, that he gets the opportunity to play regular first-team football, and that counts.
Well, I think that's probably more important when you're such tender age. There's another of such tender age, but also of outstanding talent, Paul Sculthorpe. Great Britain international, 5 caps on the 96 tour. Neat work between Tatupu and Shelford. Now Paul Hume. Oh dear me. George Mann drops it.
All that's hard work. You prepare for it and you prepare for the angle runner, and he takes his eyes off the football. The experience of George Mann should have ensured that he kept hold of possession. Well, Bradford look a little bit dodgy in their defence over the last 10 minutes.
Well, they too, we were mentioning St Helens on Friday night and their fitness and their fatigue, because Bradford and Saints, the only two sides in Super League, because of their success in getting to Wembley, who haven't enjoyed just a little break during the course of this season. And they've taken some knocks as well, Bradford, in the injury stakes also. So I suppose you can excuse them for being jaded, particularly with a big lead at 22-0 at half-time.
Try to convince the coach about that.
Oh yes, he won't be impressed. I'm only trying to make an excuse for them, though, when they see him this week. Man of the match time, 0891 66 55 25. Got a name for us, ring in now.
Good kick there by McNamara. Let's get out of here. 32-14, slow things down. He knows that they have gone through a scrappy patch. He's been around long enough to understand that a fine kick into the corner.
Big week for Super League. We have that match tomorrow morning with New South Wales, Queensland. World of Super League Wednesday, Salford Saints Thursday. And Friday, we're in the capital for London against Warrington again at the Stoop. They kick off at 7. Not having the head guard ripped off his head. Forshaw, good tackling that was by him on Forster. Garaitis goes off, and Warren Stevens returns to the fray. You saw him scampering into that scrum that was put down a few seconds ago. There he is, Stevens. Another teenager.
Bradford have upped the tempo now in their defence. You can see they're moving up quickly.
Well, they defended brilliantly that first half. There's McNamara now all round the man receiving the ball, George Mann. Paul Hume to Sculthorpe. Boot to ball from Paul Sculthorpe. Chase on here. Spruce is ambling up to it. Wingfield's there to cut him down. Wingfield does well.
Tremendous kick and chase there. Well, I'm not so sure that Spruce actually got up correctly before playing that football. Sort of played it in the act of getting to his feet, which is against the rules. Either way, he's got away with it. And I must say, it's been a lot more enthusiastic from the Warrington side, this stanza.
Steve, I suppose, and we keep mentioning this 22 points advantage they had at half-time, Bradford. But, you know, when Wigan were winning the championship year on year, they had that real killer instinct to push on from big half-time leads like that and really grind out great victories. Do you see signs that that is missing in this Bradford side?
Certainly is in this second half.
Oh, Oh, Bradley on Vagana.
See you later.
He could be gone.
Take a trip. What on earth has he done that for? At 32 points to 14. Bang. Vagana. That is a bad one. Well, if he survives this, he'll be lucky. No doubt about it. It wasn't as though Vagana was stepping away and caught him flat-footed. He was running in an angle. I think he's going to be a lucky boy if he does not get the red one for this. It looks as though they're going to report him. Well, surely
Connolly
they can't report him. He saw it all there.
Well, he's on report.
Oh, well, that is taking the easy option for mine. You can't tell me he never saw that.
Graham Bradley, I can tell you, took a look at the replay on the huge screen here, and his head dropped. He thought he was on his way. It might not matter. The disciplinary committee might have words to say about that later this week. But he stays on the field.
Bradford still have 13 players when they should have been down to 12. Well, I'll say technology, yeah, wonderful, and it has proved wonderful. But you don't take it away, taking a soft option when it was there in front of the man, the official.
Sculthorpe. And to be fair to Nigel Vagana, he went down, but he bounced up straight away. Anyway, as you say, Bradford remain with 13 men on the field. Breers chipped through, caught by Tomlinson. He was in the field of play when he caught it, went round the back of the posts and did well to get out of trouble.
Well, what on earth was going through the mind of the big Australian Graham Bradley there with such a convincing lead? Just lost his marbles completely, but the referee certainly lost something, and it wasn't the marbles.
This is Lachlan. Rihana now, who has returned for Wittenberg. And McDermott up the middle. He's got support from Tomlinson. McDermott over the top to Tomlinson, and Tomlinson gets round the back for his second try. Warrington convinced that was a forward pass, but Robert Connolly was bang in line, and Tomlinson, having waited all season for his first in Super League, gets two in the one game.
Good support play and great effort by the prop forward McDermott, who started this game on the bench, but since he came on, look at the determination etched on his face. Wasn't the best attempt at tackle there. I think he thought about going all the way, and then it just has a little bit of a look. Oh, well, they're gaining on me. Over the top, commits the defence. Impossible to see from this position, but as Eddie mentioned, further on to the left, the referee Robert Connolly was in perfect position.
And the phrase momentum rule comes to mind there, because McDermott kept on running, so he was in front of the pass when it reached Tomlinson. McNamara didn't hang around to debate it. 38 points to 14.
We'll see clearly from the high shot whether it was forward or not. Good work though. Not the best defence. You could see them hanging off. Connolly was in a good position, and the momentum rule came into play there. Connolly was directly in line. Well, he got that one right, but he still won't get a Christmas card from me.
Or from the thousands of Warrington supporters who've come out on this glorious evening to watch this match. Mistake from Rudd.
I think it was punched out, even though he was given the scrum. He's not happy. It's been a rough day for the full-back, Chris Rudd.
Been a rough day for Warrington again in defence, the worst defence in the game in Super League. And they really have been put to the sword here by Bradford Bulls. 38 points to 14. 2 more points, another victory for them, maintaining their lead at the top of the table. But it's Leeds who have gone into second spot now, although they have played a game more than the Bulls. St Helens are 5 points adrift at the end of this. The champions are up against it now if they want to retain their title.
Things getting a little bit scrappy now.
By the way, Steve, Leeds Bradford is one of our matches scheduled for the end of June on Sky Sports. That should be
cannot wait for
enormous.
That. Oh, yeah. Not much love lost between those two sides, that I can tell you.
When you remember the semi-final, there isn't. Matthew Elliott knows his team have hit double figures for this season. It's their 11th straight win, going back to last year. And Super League's record run of 12 wins from St Helens at the start of last season is coming into view. 3 minutes to go here. Bradford home to the 2 points, no doubt about that now. And this great record at Wilderspool continues. They've won 12 of their 23 visits here since 1973, when two-division football was reintroduced. But at Odsal, listen to this, it's 19 wins for Bradford and only 4 for Warrington. That's why they have such an overwhelming advantage in the head-to-head.
Bit of a bogey side, as you mentioned there. And I'm sure that the Bradford coach, Matthew Elliott, will point to the half-time score at 22-0. He'll say it's pretty difficult to get his men and lift up there. But as you mentioned earlier, when Wigan got into that position, they put their foot on the accelerator. More gas, more speed, and more points.
There are some people who say that Bradford don't quite have the pace that other great clubs have.
You don't need all that much pace as long as you've got the power, and they've certainly got that. But they need the composure throughout the full 80 minutes. I think we saw in that first half at Wembley that they know and they realise they should have won that game in that first 40 minutes. They didn't. The lack of composure, forcing the pass. They may be only little things, but they mean so much.
Credit Warrington, though, they continue to the end. Well beaten on the night. In fact, beaten really, I suppose, by half-time. But continuing the battle in the last half minute, as Breers, who has been impressive, finds Shelford. Vagana, number 6 there in the dummy half role. His run of scoring in Super League looks like coming to an end. 7 on the run before tonight. This is the last tackle. The crowd counting us down to the full-time siren as Hume dabs one through, and Spruce is content just to roll the ball dead. And there is the full-time siren. Another defeat for Warrington, but more significantly for Bradford and their supporters, another victory at the top of the table. 38 points to 14. They've come over here in huge numbers, one of the biggest crowds of the season at Wilderspool, to see Bradford Bulls march on at the top. They now have Super League and the title in their sights. Warrington disconsolate in defeat, but Bradford jubilant in the fact that it's now 10 out of 10. Full marks to the Bradford Bulls. They have beaten Warrington easily in the end, 38 points to 14.
Congratulations, Danny. You've been voted man of the match by our viewers. A commemorative video and a mini television for you. How important was it to get a victory after the minor slip-up by St Helens on Friday?
You know, we were pretty happy, you know, about the way it went on Friday, but obviously it was very important for us to come down here today, and, you know, it's never an easy game down here, and to win was very important, and we'll be very happy to go over the win, but obviously I think they should be happy too, because they put us into a lot of errors late in the game, so, you know, we're going to have to rethink about that too.
Were you happier with your first half than your second half performance, therefore?
Oh, certainly we were. Like, we had them down 22-0, so, you know, you've got to be happy with that, but to come out in the second half, you know, they really came at us. We thought they would, and we thought we were pretty happy to keep them the way we did, but them last couple of tries for them really hurt us, and I think we'll have a good look tomorrow.